Hello everyone. Have you ever wondered how ports decides how many ships can come in a year? A small mistake in a calculation may cause huge congestion and financial loss. In this video, I will show you a real engineer how they calculate berth capacity step by step. Let's go. Hi everyone, here we have given data of iron coal. Okay, so now the density of the commodity like is 0.855 ton per m cube. The size of grep available is 35 m cube, and picking factor for a particular commodity is 90%. Number of cycle per hour 25 cycle, and number of cycle per hour partial 20 cycle. It means when the full load of the bucket it will be carried so 25 cycles, and for the smaller amount like for the corners so it take 20 cycles. Non-working time per shift, so it will be 2 hour for break, and normal maintenance each shift, so it means each shift ideal life is 120 minutes for 2 hours. Percentage of total coverage by full load 70%, and partial load is 30%. So, and here the total weight of ship is 60,000 dwt. It means dead weight tonnage is 60,000 and cargo weight is 55,000 dwt. So this is data is given. So from this data they ask how much berth required. Okay, so to find the berth capacity, number of berth, we have to start from the quantity per lift which is given data. So here quantity per lift, the formula is size of grab into picking factor into density. So the size of grab is 35. Okay, our capacity, so it is not necessary that like that 35 m cube is totally 35 m cube conducted, so 0.9 is picking factor, and density of the material or the coal is 0.855. So the quantity per lift is 26.93 tons in one bucket. Okay, now quantity it is for just one bucket. Now we have to find per day this one. So number of cycle per hour, so which is given 25. Now working hours, day minus rest time 24 minus 2 into per lift capacity. So we got the 25, we have the 25, 22 hours into 26.93. So the per day the capacity is 14,812.88 ton per day. Now it is for the full day, full load. Now the quantity per day for partial load. For a partial load, number same the formula, only the number of cycle is changed. Okay, so the partial load is 20 is here given, then 24 minus 2 into 26.93. So in partial load 11,850 tons per day. It is for partial load. So we calculate both the full load and partial load. Now we are converting into days. So in full load, how much days required to get the cargo done, to fill the cargo? So it takes 0.70 is a total coverage by the full load into cargo weight is 55,000 divided by the full quantity per day is the 14,812. So for 2.6, our percentage is 70 percentage into cargo weight is 55,000. For full load, we have to take 14,000. Okay, for the full load. So it takes 2.6 days, 2.5 days, more than 2.5 days. Now for partial load, same like that, percentage for is 30 percentage into 55,000 is the cargo weight divided by partial load quantity per day is 1.4. It is less than 1.5 days. So we can take 4 days on an average, like 3.99 is 4 days. Now we want to know the crane productivity. So here the crane productivity for 55,000 divided by 4, because 4 days. Okay, in 4 days, so for 4 days crane productivity will be 13,779 tons per day, the crane productivity. Now from the crane productivity we can get berth capacity. So here the berth capacity formula is number of crane. There is a 2 crane. The crane productivity we have 13,779 into number of working days 350. 15 days we can deduct for the maintenance, and 0.75 is the berth occupancy factor. So 77 lakh 72 lakhs 34,000 is the capacity, and we are converted into 7.23 metric ton per annum. Is this the berth capacity? I will solve a numerical on berth capacity for iron ore handling. Iron ore, the density of commodities 2 ton per m cube. The size of grep available is 20 m cube. Same the peaking factor for particular commodity 90%. Number of cycle per hour is 25 cycles, and partial load is 20 cycles. Non-working time per shift, it is for maintenance break, so 2 hours in day, so 120 minutes. Percentage of total coverage by full load is 70%, partial load is 30%, total weight 60,000 dead weight tonnage, and cargo weight is 55 dead weight tonnage. So the weight of the iron ore is 55,000 dead weight tonnage. Now we can solve the numerical. The quantity per lift. So quantity, how we can find the quantity of lift per lift? It is size of grab. The size of grab is 20 m cube. Picking factor is 0.9 and density is 2. So it is 36 tons. Okay, in per one lift. Now we go to quantity per day full load. So for a per day, so number of cycle are in 1 hour there is a 25 cycles, and rest of 22 hours, 24 minus 2, and per lift is 36 tons. So we get 19,800 tons per day in a full load. Same as partial load, the number of cycle is decreased by 5 cycles, 20. So 24 minus 2, 22 into 36. So it is 15,840 tons per day. So we counted in for a day full load, partial load. Now how much days required to for the full load. So percentage of full load into cargo weight divided by the quantity per day, quantity required days. Okay, so we can get 70% from here. The cargo weight is 55,000 divided by full load, we can take 19,800. So 1.94 days required, almost 2 days required to get full load. Now in partial load, for partial load, the 30% weightage, 55,000 is cargo weight divided by the partial load of 15,840 tons. So partial load is 1 day. So total days is 3 days required to fill the iron ore. Now we can do the crane capacity. So 55,000 divided by 3. So we get 18,418 tons per day. It is required, mandatory, this amount of productivity we want. Now we take berth capacity. Berth capacity, same like that. So we can get 2 cranes, the number of crane, 2 cranes, crane productivity, number of working days in year, and berth occupancy factor. So here 2 is mandatory, 2 is constant. We can take here crane productivity is 18,418, it is crane product 350. 15 days we deduct from the maintenance, holiday, anyone. So 15 days deducted only, and 0.75 is the constant factor we take. So here we can 9.67 million ton per annum. This is the berth capacity for the iron ore. Now we move to the final phase of this numerical, which is berth planning and capacity comparison. Here we already calculated the berth capacity of the two material, 7.23 for the iron coal and 9.67 for iron ore. Here we calculated. Now the objective is to compare required capacity with available capacity and determine how many berths are needed in the future years. Let's start with coal. In 2020, the required capacity is 6.9 metric ton, a million ton per annum, while one berth provide 7.23 million tons per annum. So the capacity is fulfilled. So now number of berths is only one we required. In 2025, the requirement increased to 8 metric million ton per annum, since one berth cannot handle this demand, this one. So we increase 2 berths. So actual 14.47 million ton per annum, which is adequate. In 2035, the demand further increased to 14.3 million ton per annum. 2 berths still provide 14.47 metric million ton per annum, which is just sufficient but very close to the limit. Okay, now let's analyze iron ore. In 2020, required capacity is 8.1 million ton per annum, and one berth provide 9.67 million ton per annum. So one berth is sufficient. In 2025, the demand increased to 9.5 million ton per annum, which is still within the capacity of one berth. However, 2035 demand rises to 16.8 million ton per annum. Now one berth is not enough, so we require two berths. Two berths provide 19.34 million ton per annum, which is safely meets the demand. So from this analysis, we can conclude coal required expansion to berth by 2025, and while iron ore required expansion by 2035. This type of analysis is very important in port planning because it helps avoid congestion and ensures smooth cargo handling. Thank you.